Hey guys, so we're here today with CC5. So we got them here at the Photo Booth Expo, bumped into them, finally caught up with them. So do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and how you got started in the photo booth industry?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Charles, originally from Manchester.
Yeah,
I own an events company called No Limit Entertainment. That was where CC5 was derived from.
yeah,
Basically, we would do nightclub events, brunches, festivals,
yeah,
and from that, I was basically paying suppliers to come in to do services for my events,
yeah.
paying them silly amounts of money, which is coming out of my profits. So I just got to the stage where I was like, what am I doing? I might as well just do these things myself, invest in myself, and yeah, triple, quadruple my profits really. So that's where CC5 was born from, out of No
Nice,
Limit.
nice. So what was the first photo booth that you had?
360 photo booth.
360. How was that experience for you?
Let's just say my first ever booking was an absolute nightmare.
Oh God.
One of the worst. Can you imagine? It was a New Year's Eve birthday party,
Yeah.
and I must have caused about 4 grand worth of damage in
Yeah.
someone's house. So that was a great. That was probably the best thing that happened to me because
Yeah.
I learned straight away. It was instant learning. It's one of them things where either make sure it breaks you, and for
Yeah.
me, I think it made me because it just made me just literally be switched on straight away, take everything a lot more serious, and yeah, I made the money back probably within a couple of weeks.
Oh wow, nice, nice. So was it damage from the arm then, or so did something happen? Like,
So basically, what happened was
yeah,
my ring light was not um, connected well enough.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I tried a different bracket, tried to be clever. You
yeah,
get a
yeah,
new bracket from Amazon. Don't get brackets from Amazon,
yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah. Them Amazon brackets can be dodgy
Don't
sometimes.
get
Isn't it?
brackets from Amazon.
Yeah,
Tried
yeah,
to be clever. Use the bracket on the arm. Basically, there was a candle on the side.
yeah,
So what's happened is the ring light is basically fallen off the bracket
yeah.
and it's smashed into a candle. That candle is then exploded and has gone over the expensive carpet,
Oh
expensive
no.
TV, expensive couch, ruined everything
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So the next day, I spent the whole day on my hands and knees scrubbing the couch
No.
and calling painters in to try
Yeah,
and
yeah,
fix
yeah.
what I had caused, which is
Wow, man.
hilarious.
Well, that's a lesson to be learned, isn't it? Definitely. Interesting story, though. You know what? And it does say like what you're saying, really. It comes down to like you do sometimes like these things happen, and like it's a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like I was the same. Like I started out, had a 360. Um, I did have an accident like that, but I plugged it into a pub, and basically in the pub, as soon as I plugged it in, it was a booth like straight off Alibaba, like I had my first one, and as
Right.
soon as I plugged it into a pub, all the pub lights went off in this whole
No
pub.
way.
Yeah, this whole unit, and basically like I was just looked at the wire. The wire had a slight fraying in, which must have happened in travel. Like the one that goes, basically the power bit that goes into a 360,
Right. Okay.
and it just burnt out, and I hadn't even heard it. I just plugged it in and then seen all the lights go, and it just frayed it. And so I looked on the floor; it's just all black. It was burnt out, like crisp, like toast. It was pretty much. And
Wow.
then so basically, the guy who I'd done it for was a big promoter in my area, and basically he ran like 3, 4 events. So
Right.
he had a good reputation as a promoter. So I had to go up to him, and I just did the honest thing at the time. I was like, "Hey, look, dude, like my 360's gone." I was
Mm.
like, so at that point, I was very new to the industry, so I was like, I can cut the belt and just spin it around, or I can just give you a refund. Which would you prefer? He says, just spin it around.
Just
So I didn't know at that time because I was such a noob back then. I had a cog based 360, not the belt. So I was
right.
there basically taking the cog off, trying to loosen it. Didn't work. So I ended up running around with the 360. And I was just running around with it in circles every time everyone went on.
Wow.
By the end of it, like man, I was like, this definitely ain't the way. And yeah, that's pretty much my story. So
Sounds like a
yeah,
great gym session.
yeah, it was. I think at the end of it, like I felt like, damn, like I've got a workout head, and I was thinking to myself, is it really that hard when they just spin it? Because it looks really easy on YouTube. But no, that was a lesson learned for me. Um, so, what do you think like makes your photo booth higher service different to other photo booth companies in the market?
I think it's just the quality of the service we give, to be honest.
Yeah,
Quality of the videos, quality of the props,
yeah,
and the customer service, most importantly. I think a lot of people can smile and do something, but it's about
yeah,
going above and beyond. It's
yeah, yeah,
about each person that steps on that booth
yeah,
remembering you along with the video that you send them.
yeah.
They remember the guy who pressed the button on the remote.
Mm-mm.
Because that's important because they'll probably then go and book just for you. They
Yeah,
might like the video, it might be decent,
yeah,
but they'll think, you know what, I want that guy to come back and serve my guest at my party
yeah,
because he was funny, he made a joke, he gave me a
yeah, yeah.
nice compliment. So I think customer service is something that's really important, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely, 100% on that. What do you think are the type of photo booths that are most popular now? I know there's been a big debate. I'm gonna probably get David on it later on the podcast to have with him because I know over in America they're saying 360 is dying. What's your thoughts on it? Like, is there a booth that you'll find is most popular now? Our photo booth.
Yeah, so as someone who who sells and hires out,
Yeah,
I'd say the Magic Mirror must be the most exciting, the most popular these days.
yeah,
That's the slim Magic Mirror that's coming in. I think the large frame one is still popping. It'll always be popping. I don't think it'll ever go away.
mm,
But I do think that the slimmer model that's in now, I think that's becoming a lot more popular. That's what people are wanting. It's a lot easier to maneuver, and it's nice to look at. To be honest,
yeah. I gotta agree. I think Magic Mirrors are coming back. Because
definitely.
they kind of went quiet for a bit, and now it's like everyone wants a magic mirror. Like we're getting so many high requests, and they're not, as long as it's a magic mirror, they're not really bothered.
Hmm.
I mean, what I've seen is from our higher side is um, the 360 is still getting some higher, not as much as what it was. So it seems it has slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
But what I found is there is still people in the UK who they haven't seen a 360 yet before. We've been
Facts.
to some events and there's people that still haven't seen a 360 and
Hmm.
they don't, and they're just like, what is that? Oh, I've never seen one. And sometimes you'll get people who say, yeah, I've seen one, but I never went on it, or I was at a party, I've seen one. But I think our actual for us, it's the selfie pods. We've got a lot of selfie booths, and they seem to be getting hell of a lot of higher. So I think the selfie booths are popular as well right now.
Yeah.
But I guess really they're a lot easier because they're slimmer than magic mirrors, so they're that second option for people. But yeah, I think I've got to agree. Like magic mirror is coming back majorly.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's that
Absolutely.
nostalgia as well. Like people know what the mirror looks like, and it's coming back. Even the
Yeah.
enclosed booths, there's still some popularity on the oval based booths and some of that as well. Like once in a while, I think we have requests for it,
Yeah.
and I think from like a lead perspective, all the leads I see are mostly online. It's always people asking for oval based booths or
Hmm.
enclosed.
Yeah.
So
I think that's probably because they're harder to find. I
yeah,
think a lot of people who do higher services probably find it hard to set it up, take it down. So there's probably less of them available, which is
yeah,
why a lot of the leads people trying to pass on bookings because
yeah,
they don't
yeah,
have one.
yeah, yeah,
So it kind of gets like that. Kind of
yeah.
gets like that.
So, what for the new people or someone trying to get into the game, even some of your viewers, because I'm in the CC5 group, so shout out to CC5 WhatsApp chat, and I know that a lot of you might be, a lot of users will be saying, what do I need to do to give a high quality experience to a customer? So, obviously, I think like one of the seminars that we was at earlier, obviously touched on it. It's probably like the response time, good service. Do you think there's other things that for new people coming into it? People who've bought Photobu for you, from example, or from us, or from anywhere that they need to think about with that.
Yeah, I would say invest in your service, invest in your accessories.
Yeah.
Simple things like barriers of roping,
Yeah.
red carpets. You wouldn't believe the amount of like booths I see without red carpets
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
I think such a simple thing, but it will go a long way. It will make your booth look so much more professional,
Yeah.
so much more exciting. People will feel like they're famous on it. I mean,
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
it's just a simple booth. I'm just putting it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone get on it. But to them, it's an experience. It's something that they've come to an event, they're seeing it, and you want it to look as glam as possible. Things like barriers, roping, red carpets, and even just from a point of view of ensuring you invest in the best quality equipment,
Yeah.
the best quality ring lights, the best phone to use, the best external lights. I feel like that will make you go from getting just a few bookings to getting quite a lot of bookings because people look at you differently then.
Yeah. I gotta agree with that. And it's the same for me. Like when I see those companies where there's not even a light in it, it's just a 360 on the floor. I just
Mm-hmm.
think no effort's put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time I've seen them companies and the rates are so cheap as well. And I'm like, you really get what you pay for because someone's just gone, set up a 360 and put it there. And as well, I think sometimes it's even thinking about the setting. You know, I will tell our clients on hire, we need X space. We don't want it near a DJ booth because no one's going to hear me. No one's going to hear the safety instructions. They're not going to go know when to get on and off. Have it near music, but give us at least a 6 foot gap. You know, because we've been times where we've been hired and we're right next to a DJ there.
Yeah.
So I think just those kind of things incorporated into the experience helps as well. It's something that comes with time, doesn't it? And learning as well, though, really being a photo booth owner as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um, so can you share a memorable or unique experience you've had while setting up a photo booth for an event?
Well, besides the
The
first
one
thing I
earlier.
said on this interview,
Yeah,
well, this is probably just as funny.
yeah,
So I was at a wedding. Um, I've just set my photo booth up.
yeah,
Probably this is probably like the third person to get on it.
yeah,
So I've got a kid. It's probably about I don't know 8, 9 years old.
yeah,
He's jumped on the booth. He's doing his poses. He's all excited. The booth. I'm probably about to stop it now and get him off. Now I kid you not, this kid does a super fly kick
yeah.
onto my arm.
Oh no. Yeah,
He's so excited. He's loved it so much.
yeah,
He
yeah.
does a fly kick. He's jumped so high and he's done a crazy bicycle kick.
Oh no.
And my phone smashed, my ring light smashed,
Yeah,
everything smashed. And but don't forget, we're only about quarter of the way into the booking.
yeah, yeah. Oh no.
So and I've got a long queue, people about to get
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So at this point, I'm just thinking, wow. First of all, who's paying for this? Second of all,
Yeah, yeah,
where's my spare ring light?
yeah.
Now I need to tell all these people, hold on a sec, guys. We're gonna be packed away for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Sort this out. So that's one thing that comes to my head quickly. Anyway, that was quite a hilarious experiment.
I had quite a similar one, to be honest. We went to, it wasn't a little kid, but we went to a really posh venue, and it was like in the countryside somewhere. Pulling up to this place, and the DJ wasn't. I think it was running late because it was like a wedding. So I literally started setting up the arm in my van because I was like, "Shit, we're gonna be like that late. Like we're gonna be late for this to set up." So I thought I'll set up the arm in my van. Like at least do that. I can just slot it in, to a 360. Anyway, fast forward, we get to the event, go to a bar. Oh, it's an open bar, and they're like, you don't have to pay anything. So I just wanted to get me. I think I had two staff on at that time, like a couple of cokes, because it gets thirsty work when you're a 360 operator.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, oh, it's an open bar. They're like, you don't have to pay. I'm like, wow, these guys got money. Like, they've got an open bar, and people were getting champagne, bottles of champagne free,
Really?
paid for from the couple, right? So this, I think it's like the bride or groom's, friends go on in a group. Anyway, all of a sudden, the 360 is going around. They start doing backflips on it, and then doing stunts. One of them falls because he's had too much to drink. Bang! Smash into the arm as it goes round. ring light turns to the left, falls off on the floor, and I'm like, oh crap. So I was just like, what happened, guys? Like, we have a sign with safety instructions, right? So I was like,
Right.
what happened to what happened? Like, it said, and then they were like, well, it didn't say no stunts on there. I was
No
like, oh,
backflips.
yeah, no backflips. I was like, we're gonna have to
You're
add
gonna
this
have
to
to
the
add that
sign.
on.
But I mean, luckily in that situation, we played it really diplomatically. We just said to him like, look, you're gonna have to pay for this damage because the light on it alone was £60 because it was like a Ulanzi U200 or
U200.
U200
Yeah.
light. We had like a GoPro on there. Luckily, the GoPro didn't get smashed because we had screen protector on the little on all sides of it. And then obviously there was the arm. Luckily, the arm didn't have no damage because we got the steel arm, so we're quite lucky like that. So it didn't have no damage. So that was
Yeah.
lucky. So I was like, you saved one bill there. So they says, oh yeah, we're going to speak to the bride and groom. So we thought, well, we don't want to ruin their day because it's their wedding day, and it's not nice to go up to them on that day. So we'll speak to them after. So they
Yeah.
send us an email a few days later, like, where's, what's going on with our link? And I'm just like, oh, did they not? Your friends not speak to you yet? And then they're like, what friends? And I'm like, send them a link because the worst thing is when people do this on the 360, you recorded doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, there's no denying it was
Absolutely.
you. So I'm like, it's these two people. Maybe you want to speak to them and get the money off them.
Yeah.
So in the end, they were like, oh, we've had to use our honeymoon money, to pay it off, and we'll get the money back from the friends and they pay it. But I mean, we always have contracts in place anyway for damages, so it's
Yeah.
kind of that standard thing. But yeah, I
Well,
can say with ring lights and knocks, it's definitely one where you need to have spares because it's a nightmare, isn't it?
absolutely.
Carry spares,
Absolutely.
like I tell the guys on your group, I tell anyone like within the industry, carry a spare,
Carry
have a
spares.
spare,
Absolutely.
have a spare arm. I know there's some operators that have a spare arm and a spare
Have a
motor.
spare everything.
Yeah.
Spare booth. I
Yeah.
take 2 booths to every booking
Yeah,
because honestly, you will never know what will happen.
Yep.
You never know the day when your motor might go. Never know the day when you misplace something, when
Yeah.
something breaks. And the last thing you want to do is tell the client, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to refund you. I
Yeah.
can't give the service today.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the last thing you ever do. I'm glad I've never had to do that,
Yeah.
and I pray I never have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, carry spares of everything.
Yeah, gotta agree because it gives them a bad experience, and obviously they'll have that bad taste in their mouth. And while it might not leave you a bad review, they will be saying it to someone.
Yeah,
So I got to
absolutely.
agree with that.
Absolutely.
What's probably would you say is the biggest challenge you faced as within the sector, even on your sales side to higher side? What's the biggest challenge you faced in the photo booth thing so far?
Biggest challenge. It's a good question. Mm, I would probably say dealing with low budget clients.
Yeah,
That's probably a big challenge because I like to think of myself as a nice guy. So
yeah,
when someone has genuinely got a low budget and they genuinely do want the service,
yeah,
it's really hard to say no, but you have to stick to your guns. You have to know your worth.
yeah,
The best thing you could probably do is pass the booking on to someone who will charge less.
yeah.
But in terms of turning people away, I hate turning people away. That's
Yeah, yeah.
that's not so
No,
good.
no. I think as photo booth owners, especially within the UK sector, we can appreciate that because it's one of those things where I think me and you were talking about this like before we started the podcast that it's very different in the UK market, and most people are go on YouTube as new owners, see a American tutorial and hear $500 2 hours, and depending on where you are in the UK, because I say this, I don't know what your opinion on it is, but I think we're from where we are now at the Photo Booth Expo in London, they could certainly charge a price, but down in the north where you are and the
Not
Midlands,
happening.
yeah, it
It is
isn't
not
happening,
No.
and it's something that I think the American market's so different for. They've not our clients and our demographics in the UK. They don't have that mentality or stability to think with their heart. They are thinking wallet and price based oriented first. Would you say that's a fair comment?
I think that's absolutely fair. I
Yeah,
think even the gap from Manchester to London is crazy. Let
yeah,
alone the gap from Manchester to America.
yeah,
Like it's significant.
yeah,
So a big thing I'd just say is know your lane and stay in your lane.
Yeah,
Don't look at other people and think
yeah,
I need to do what he's doing because he's doing X, Y, Z. You need to know who you are and work with that until you're ready to move to that other level,
yeah,
move to that other stage and do that because you can't be charging London prices when you live in Manchester
yeah,
and wonder why you're not getting any bookings.
yeah, yeah,
It's not gonna work.
yeah.
So know your market
Yeah,
basically.
definitely, definitely. And I think that's a good thing because when you buy in the photo booth, this kind of research should have been done before. But as well, it's good to check. I mean, what I've kind of said to people on my YouTube because we get a lot of questions with this. Well, what should I be charging? What should I hire? Is
Mm-hmm.
don't go lower than your competitors. Go on Google. What I've said to people is get your first three competitors who are reputable. And when I say reputable, I'm not talking about Facebook Marketplace. Don't get me wrong. There's of course some reputable companies on Facebook Marketplace, but 50% of them are doing it as a side hustle. And I've seen some very cheap, uninsured horror stories on Facebook Marketplace bookings.
Yeah.
I'm on about Google, people that have a website, legitimate, not just a Facebook seller with a person. So I'll tell them, look at the first three. Don't go lower because you're not going to devalue yourself, but look at what value you could add if you were at the same price. Um,
Absolutely.
so that's what I've actually done a video on my channel about it, guys, on pricing, but that's what I advise. And I think at the webinar we were at, I can't remember which speaker it was at. I think it was the last fellow who was a DJ. He was actually obviously saying as well, his price is what it is. If obviously someone wants it cheaper, they're not his kind of client because they don't understand his value of what he's given. So I
Absolutely.
think what you said, value in yourself and your photo booth and your service and knowing your value is a massive thing. And it is staying persistent with that because, like you say, it's horrible to turn away people. But that is the point where if you know someone that is a supplier that is very cheap, perhaps starting out, who is charging cheaper rather than doing free, or they've done a few free events, pass the work to them, be collaborative within the sector, and they might pass the favour back. I've done it well before, and a couple of times they sent me a booking back, and it was in my budget. So of what we want to charge. So yeah, it's a great point with that really as well. I think as well, just the final thing I will say as well is, in your experience of it, what kind of trends can you see coming for the photo booth thing? Do you think the glam bot's going to come in? What do you think is going to be in the next big thing now, apart from magic mirrors? I
Yeah, I
know the
think.
magic mirror is demanded, but
Mhm.
is there anything you've seen today that you thought wow to?
Let me just say, today I felt like a kid in a sweet shop.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, I love
If
it.
we all had 12 grand to spare for them glam bots, eh?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's funny because a lot of the products we already sell,
yeah,
but kind of seeing other people's versions of it is quite nice as well. It's quite
yeah, yeah,
refreshing. It kind of even inspires me to even do more, change our products up a bit.
yeah,
But it also makes me realize, yeah, we're actually doing really well because we have this quality. We have this, so
yeah,
that's good. So in terms of what's coming through, definitely the glam box.
yeah,
I think the vintage pods are always going to be good.
yeah,
They're always going to look nice with a nice clean finish. Um, Obviously, we all know about the infinity boosts and how
yeah.
good they
Glass
are.
Infinity, yeah,
We
yeah,
all know about those. Yeah, generally, glam bots. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think glam bots are going to come in, but what I see being the problem with the glam bot is they like. I think in China, Hong Kong, they're about 9 grandish,
Mhm.
and I think like you're looking at here it was about 12,000. I saw one, but the problem with it is free flight cases. That's a hell of a lot. Is what
Yeah.
the one I saw here. I said to him, what is a flight case? Because I was looking at getting one, but then to get someone to transport three flight cases, and they're probably the size of this table in front of us. That's
Yeah.
how much the flight cases were, and width as well in dimensions. That's a lot, even
Yeah.
for a van. And
Absolutely.
then you've got to have someone to set it up. So I think those are challenges with it. And then the other thing is, if it's a 12 grand investment, then you also need to get lights, a carpet for it. I know most of the time we'll interchange it as very brief owners, but if you've got two events out a day, which is what you want, you're going to need two carpets, two gold ropes,
Yeah.
sets. So there's
Yeah.
little extras to think about insurance.
It's a big investment. It
Yeah,
is
it's
a
a big
big
investment and
investment.
it's making it back. I mean, my good friend King 360, he's got a glam bot over here in London and he's absolutely killing it. I think he's had like Betfred and some big corporates. If you can get the corporates on it and get them to pay, and you can make the money back, it's worth it. But I think as operators, for myself and you in the north and the Midlands, we know that even the corporates are very difficult to get to pay the London race. You know, and if you were to charge £500, let's just say as an example figure, for 2 hours, so it's about £250 an hour, decent for a glam bar. It's still going to take you a long time to make 12 grand back. So I think right now that's probably the biggest thing with it. But I think, like you said, hopefully they can bring some better technology to it. Maybe China and Hong Kong will come some new technology because they're always working to bring something out a bit cheaper. But like you say, it's been really interesting here because I've even seen. I don't know if you saw it, but the European Romanian 360.
I did.
Yeah, and that was so they had one here. It was like hexagon style, and it's basic. That was heavy duty. That 360, because what they were saying is in Romania, people like to dance, so they like to jump and dance, and they like to do backflips and stuff. And he was saying this booth can handle it. And believe me, guys, if you felt this booth, it was like a tank. It was literally like built like a tank. And I think, like you say, as B2B sellers and B2C sellers, someone's that sell the booths and we hire them as well. To see stuff like that and the fact that people are innovating the sector it's inspirational, isn't it? It just motivates you, like you say, because you're thinking, damn, we need to be getting onto a supplier or a manufacturer or even look at making these ourselves. So it's a crazy one. But no, thank you so much for obviously taking the time today. Really appreciate it. Obviously, I'll post this on your group as well, letting them know, all the CC5 family, that obviously you come on the podcast as well, and I'll send you over a link as well. But thanks a lot for your time today. Is there anything else you'd like to say to like the users?
Nothing else really. I think I've covered almost everything.
Yeah.
Just really believe in yourself, invest in yourself, spend the money, take the plunge.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need to just do it because
Yeah.
you'll never be ready. Really.
Yeah.
It'll never be the right time.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
always be that thing that you also have to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just do it, and then you're in, and then you just have to do it. So yeah, take the plunge, believe in yourself.
Yeah, perfect, man. And you want to shout out your website and everything else?
CC5Visuals.com.
Yeah.
We sell, we hire, whatever our slogan is, we can provide anything your event requires because we can.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you check them out. Really recommended supplier as well, guys.